Hey yo, what up? It's your boy Will Quelly, and today we're going to talk about the greatest of all times. Before we jump into all that, I'm sure you got a list, right? I got my own list. So before we jump into all that, I would like to say thank you to all you guys that keep coming back and supporting my channel, checking my videos, and all the comments you guys are dropping. I appreciate all that. And if you're new to my channel, thank you. What you could do is subscribe, and you get to hear me rant and talk about the real. I talk about the real the way I see it, you know what I mean? All right, so let's jump into it. The greatest of all times. So I was going about doing my stuff and all that, and I came across a list, Bleach's Report, and they had a list of the greatest of all times. They had in there, you know, Tim Duncan, they had in there Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, they had Olajuwon, they had, you know, MJ, and I was like, wait a minute, you know, the only guard was MJ if you take up Magic Johnson. Now, Magic Johnson, to me, why I'm saying if you take up Magic Johnson, because to me, he was more like a point forward, not really a guard, even though he played the guard position. Even LeBron James plays the guard position right now, but he's really a forward. I mean, check the All-Stars, right? They listed LeBron James as a forward, right? So, okay, let's not get into that. My take was, oh, size does matter. All right, guys, size does matter, all right? So that was my thing. All right, but what I'm trying to get at is this. I couldn't believe they didn't have Kobe Bryant in there. I just couldn't believe it. And then I got to thinking more and more, and I was like, wait a minute, let's jump into the game of basketball. You know, we really appreciate offense. The whole game is around offense, and that's why nowadays you can't hand check, and, you know, games, people just score a lot more than they used to. Back in them days, you get more possessions and all that because the game is quicker and all that, because we want to see more points. We want to see more layups, dunks, you know, three-point shots and all that. It's just sexier, right? Okay, so, but then we do respect defense. We respect defense because once we start talking about the greatest of all times, you're usually going to hear, oh yeah, he's nice and all that, but he can't play defense, you know? He can't play that on-ball defense, right? And that is why I'm looking at that list. Majority are the big fellas, because it's true. The big fellas have an advantage. They do. They cover a greater area. It's just they have an advantage, right? All those little guys coming in, it's easier for them to block and all that. It's easier for them to get more block shots and also grab rebounds, even though it's changing right now with the threes, you know, the long balls and all that. Guards are starting to get more rebounds right now. But the thing is, size does matter. And if you're tall, if you're big, you do have an advantage. All right, but then, okay, I was like, okay, so that's cool. That's a legitimate point. So that's an advantage, and it's a game of basketball, so it should count, and it should add value to the player. And I'm like, okay, cool. But then again, I got to think some more, and I was like, wait a minute. Let's look at a player like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, all right? He has the most points in the game of basketball, right, in the NBA, right? But majority of those points would have never occurred if the point guard was not there. Let me see Kareem Abdul-Jabbar dribble from one end of the court to the other end of the court and create his own shots. And then you tell me he's the greatest scorer of all time, or he is the best player. Because if we look at offense the same way we look at defense, then we would have assists on defense. You get what I'm saying? You get where I'm going with this, right? Because we appreciate the assist, and the assist was not recorded. But then we were like, wait a minute. This big guy, yes, he gets to score a lot of points, and we appreciate that, and it's recorded and all that. But there's somebody that's making it possible for this guy to score. And, you know, it's a critical part of the game, right? So we need to start recording assists. We need to acknowledge that. And we give them credit, right? So they get assists. You get an assist when you assist somebody and scoring. It's part of the game. It's actually the bigger chunk of the game, setting everything up before you score. The scoring part is the easy part. So on defense, the way the game is played, especially nowadays, we have very few on-ball defenders. We do. A lot of the defense out there is team defense. Set somebody up, the help defense comes in, block, or something like that. If we were just talking about, you know, the same way we look at offense, the assist and all that, then the deflections, the steals per game. We're talking about the Isaiah Thomas, the Allen Iverson, the Stephen Currys, you know, and the list goes on. All the smaller guys, the smaller guys, their defensive efficiency would really go up when we talk about defense, like the way we talk about offense, because, you know, the assist is a big chunk of the offense. I'm sure you understand that part, right? I'm sure you understand that part. So going back to defense, right? I am saying, if we're going to be talking about defenders and all that, like, look at LeBron. LeBron hasn't played on-ball defense in such a long time, but he's still considered to be, oh, when he wants to play defense, he can play defense. I'm sure you remember that iconic block and all that. All right. Help defense. That's what I'm talking about. Where are the assists on defense? Where are the assists on defense? Because you can't not play the game of basketball nowadays without playing team defense. And team defense is all about the assists on defense. So why are we not recording that and also crediting the people who are playing help defense and also assisting in the defense, so their defensive efficiency could also go up? I mean, you get what I'm saying here. If we do that with offense, why can we do that with defense? Because nowadays defense is all about team defense. Okay? That list, and I'm saying, you know, the advantage is there. Having, you know, being big and all that, it's an advantage, and I acknowledge that. But being short and small and being able to move quick is also an advantage in the game of basketball. That is why you see a lot of guards being smaller. It's a critical part of the game. We need to acknowledge that it is a critical part of the game. And if we're going to acknowledge somebody like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, somebody like Shaq, somebody like Wilt, who could not create their own shots on a regular majority of the time, let's put it that way. Maybe once or twice, they were able to do that. If we can credit them and put them on the list of the greatest of all time, even though they have a deficiency there, why are we overlooking the little guy on defense, even though they're also assisting? You get what I'm saying? What you'll think? Well, Quelly Rants. Oh yeah, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel so you can get more videos. And write something down there. Write anything, you know, just write a comment, say something, tell me what you thought. Ask me for money, just write something down there. Not like I'm gonna send you the money, but just write something. Go ahead, right there. Yeah, that's right, thank you.